Can you hear those bikes? Can you see that sign? Racing is back. Here at Oulton Park, there are actual people in there, stood near an actual racetrack, watching bikes racing round and round in circles. I know we can't all be here, but those that are here are lucky enough to enjoy some hands, face, space. Let's race. So behind you is turn one, behind me is Cascades. Tom's out in the Superstock race now, but we thought it might be a good idea to take Tom and Glenn on a track walk so that you can get inside their minds and they can tell you what their most exciting, the most crucial and the most important corners are here at Oulton Park. Let's have a look. So I asked both Tom and Glenn what their favourite corner was, and we've only made it 2 corners away from the start line, and here we are. We've stopped at Cascades, your favourite corner apparently.
Yeah, we were talking about this on the way up, you know, Tom and I, and the approach to it, you know, out of turn 1, third gear, back a little bit of wheelie, into 4th, and literally start bouncing the limiter as you peel into the kink just at the top of the hill there. Hard on the brakes, but quite deceiving from here, but when you're on the bike, the step on the road is so steep that you have to release the brake. Yeah, to get over it,
you can't be tense on the bike because it almost, if you're tense,
yeah,
it makes the whole chassis really, really rigid. And if you're rigid, the whole bike just reacts to it. You can get your back wheel off the air.
Yeah.
And,
it kind of kinks and you will continue the whole way to here, so much so that you'll have to release the brake and you'll blow the corner.
So Glenn, you got the bike settled, it's in 3rd gear, you've finished your entry part of the corner. Where are you looking? What's the bike doing? What are you thinking?
Well, now you're looking for, you know, your apex, and in this corner it's really far around is like your V.
Real late apex, isn't it?
Really late, yeah, because if you go in early now, you're on the edge of the tyre, and the bikes nowadays have so much power you can't get on the gas. But one of the little fine art things that helps here is as you're approaching where you want to run to your very widest, I actually release the front brake. I'm still going too fast, but then the rear brake gets applied.
Yep, and you're doing that with your thumb.
Yeah, to act like tighter engine braking. And at that point that turns, then you pick it up, get your body off, and what do you think, Tom? It's quite an important exit, isn't it?
It opens it up. If you get the line just right, it opens it up lovely, but it also flattens off on the exit of this corner. So if you're still carrying too much lean angle, if you haven't quite got the apex right, you cannot pick the gas up anywhere near as hard as what you want, or else it'll just ping you off the top. So.
And this is an exciting circuit anyway, but what is it about this corner that makes it the exciting choice for you both?
I think it's just a speed that you rush into it. You hit the limiter as you're peeling in, and it's a blind entry as well.
And that dip that you were talking about.
So much in a short space of time. Like the spectators have an amazing view, and that's one part as well. You see the spectators. This is where everyone stands.
Perfect. Should we push on to the next one?
Yes, do it.
So we're moving on from favourite to the most exciting, and to say that Oulton Park is action-packed, the fact that we've only come 1 corner from our favourite and we're at our most exciting speaks volumes. It's a 2.6 mile circuit, so there's lots to choose from, but we're at Shell Oils, and Tom's about to tell us why this is the most exciting corner here.
It's definitely exciting. So you come off one of the fastest parts of the track, Island Bend, in 4th gear, and the bike's trying to run out to the right, but you're trying to get back to the left, so you've got a lot of forces, and then you're into a banked hairpin. And it probably doesn't do it justice on camera.
I had no idea that camber was, you know.
You don't realise how fast and how hard you can run into this corner.
The grip that it gives you is unbelievable, isn't it? Like you go in, as Tom says, really difficult to get the line correct because you're coming around here before it, 4th gear, leaned over.
The amount of force you feel through your bars, like it trying to squeeze you into the corner and like trying to hold it down, it's
so much work on the entry. Then when you get into this, the grip that it gives you is almost incredible.
Almost feels like it catapults you out once you use that banking right and you get that line.
So you're back to 2nd for this?
Back to 2nd, yeah, and it's funny because we talk about the grip it gives you and you can go around with so much gas even on the superbike. Then you get to the exit. You go from the most positive camber in the UK, this is Cheshire's Daytona.
Yep.
And when you come out, it goes flat, maybe negative.
Yep.
you got a lot of high sides on the
High side
exit.
city, isn't it?
We walked this track with Takumi and Ryu, you know, the two Japanese signings, and when they got to here, it was wow, you know, they had seen nothing like it. And yeah, great corner. A pity that, you know, it's difficult for spectators to get to, but yeah, certainly one of the most exciting. We picked this as our most exciting, but there's probably 4 or 5 that are equal with it.
Every corner
around
Oulton's exciting.
It does feel like it. So the only one that we've got left is the most crucial corner in terms of strategy and winning a race. So maybe we should move on, have a look at that one.
Let's do it.
So the most crucial element of a good lap at Oulton Park, apparently, according to you guys, is Britain's chicane. You've been calling it Chicane 1 rather than its official name, and it leads us into Hilltop. You're going to talk us through it and just explain why it's the most important part of the lap here.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because we've just been to 2 phenomenal parts of the track, and this is just a chicane.
Yeah.
Why is it so crucial? I'll answer first, and then we can explain how to perhaps get it right. It's a dinky little chicane.
Is that an official term? A
Yeah,
dinky
it's
little
a
chicane.
rider's term, so it's yeah.
Terminology that is.
And one of those is Nadri.
Yeah.
It's a tricky little chicane, but you also have quite a hill on the exit that we'll get to in a minute. After that, you're breaking into what I would call the second chicane, Hizzies, and it's such a good passing spot. But it's all done by here. Like, make it and take it is what my dad told me growing up, to make a pass, and you make it here. On a separate note from racing and passing, qualifying, wheelie, it is so critical. Your front wheel comes up here and you can't get it down through lack of momentum.
Yep.
3-4 tenths. Easy you can lose. And it is so
Are you
frustrating.
talking about a Hilltop exit here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it all starts here.
Yeah.
So on the entry, you know, we approach it after shell, we come through a 4th gear kink. So important to brake hard. While you're braking, the bike wants to go wide. You gotta hold it in because it's all about opening up this kink. The curb on the left, you have to run, pinch a few inches of it. The curb on the right, you can't get sucked into. If you turn into it early, you end up wide. The little left kink coming out the chicane becomes a left-hand corner where your knee's nearly down instead of the bike being upright. Your momentum for the hill is gone.
Yeah. So Glenn, you've waited and waited and waited to peel in. How close to where I'm stood now is it before you go in for that part of the corner there?
Yeah, it's impossible to get to where you are, but what you don't want to do, you cannot come in and just go to the curves now. Because you lean in and pick the bike up, you're going grass tracking.
Yeah.
You're going to save the landscaper.
A few quid.
Yeah. You'll see the white line at the curb on the left on
Yeah.
the exit. That's where you want to be. That curb's one, UK, they're either great or they're not great. That's one when you hit, you spin, you come off it, you get grip from the tarmac. When you get grip after a spin, wheelie. Yeah. You know, Tom, explain to John, what's a wheelie like over Hilltop?
I've noticed you haven't said much, Tom, to be fair.
I'm quite happy keeping quiet at the minute because I'm learning quite a bit there myself. It's probably one of my weaker parts of the track really. Like Glenn said, there's a hell of a lot of time to be gained or lost here. So your brain's always telling you find time by running fast into a corner, but you've really got to tell yourself just to be calm on the entry to make sure you focus on getting a good exit, because you can gain far much more time on the exit than you can on the entry here. So
I love it. I mean, I know that we were supposed to talk about favourite, exciting and crucial, but they all sound like a combination of all three to me. Guys, thanks very much for the insight. Best of luck when you get your gear on.
I look forward to watching you ride a superbike around here.
maybe take the stocker for a start.
Maybe take nothing.
So I don't know if you've seen our media test here at Oulton Park 3 or 4 weeks ago. I did say in that what amazed me about superbikes is their ability to be stripped and rebuilt as quick as you can. I've just seen an entire engine come out of a Fireblade and go back in less time, well, in less than an hour. Not a single second wasted. Everybody just slipped into this kind of hypersensitive super mechanic mode. And here it is, Rio's bike ticking over. Plenty of time to warm the engine up before the race. Everybody looks super calm and relaxed. Yeah, it's not just the riders that are on top of their game. These boys are outrageous. So eventually, all those test days and all the media days and all the other things we've done stop and the actual racing starts. All of the riders on a team want to make an impact. Obviously unfortunately, you're not going to win a championship on the first day. So I'm going to stay out of the way. You guys go and have a look and see what's going on.
From where we were last year, we've took massive step forward in lap times. I mean, I surprised myself in qualifying, to be fair. It was P16 last year and then was 6th on the grid this year, and the lap time improved massive. Like, the pace this year is really fast. I made quite a good start and then got beaten up a bit and then settled into my groove, and I was just picking them up, chasing down 4th place, so felt really, really comfortable on the bike. The lads have done such a good job of getting the bike to where I wanted to be, because even at the test here earlier on in the season, I wasn't quite on the pace. Next time we come back here, we've got the information, we've got the setup now. I'll be feeling a lot better myself, which is the biggest thing. That's what's let me down this weekend. Not the bike, not the team, just myself, how I felt. So it's been a really good weekend. It's just a shame to crash out in the hunt, but after how I've been feeling, you know, I've got to take the positives. We've got 10 days now to recover for Knockhill, and I'm really hoping we can get back strong again.
Oulton Park is probably a track where struggle's probably the wrong word to use, you know, last year, but was one of our more difficult circuits to fight for podiums and results like that. We're probably the only rider on the grid maybe to still be on the zero. You know, we qualified with it, and to be honest, that's wrong. It was the right thing for us to do, but when the entire grid is using the softer option tyre, we have to be able to do this. It's not that we can't. I think we felt more comfortable with what we had and probably haven't spent as much time as we should on the X and testing.
The first round of the BSB Bennetts Superbike Championship of 2021.
As we know, that Oulton Park is, you know, probably one of the toughest demanding circuits on the calendar, and we also know that Oulton Park is a tough circuit and has been for us for a number of years. But that's saying, you know, when you get an injury, like say Rio and things like that, disappointing, and it puts you even further back even more.
Yeah.
But I must say, you know, what Glenn's done this weekend from race 1 on Saturdays into race 3, yes, we've made steps forward, and again, that's going to benefit us going on to Knockhill and to Brands.
The third race of the weekend here at Oulton Park for Bennetts British Superbike.
What we found in race 3, yes, it was a 10th position. We had to come together with another rider in the first lap, which was really, really, really frustrating. But probably my best ride of the weekend, to be truthfully honest. We tried something that we probably wanted to try in testing, and I think the bike was a lot better in the last race. Maybe something we found there could work with the soft option tyre now, the SCX, so that's what we need to focus on. It's a long season, you know, the championship doesn't get decided at round 1, but we are under no illusions as how hard a season it's going to be and how much we need to continue to improve to put ourselves in a chance and into the showdown first of all.
So we look forward now to the next round up in Knockhill in Scotland on the 10th of July. After a pit stop back at Honda Racing HQ in Louth, let's head 325 miles north, where the team are building the garage ready for round 2. It was a challenging weekend in the Superbike class for all 3 riders. Glenn going down in the last race wasn't how he deserved to finish the weekend. In the Superstock class, Tom bagged a 4th and a 5th, running at race leading pace and sticking some points on the board. Let's catch up with the boys and see how Knockhill went through their eyes.
A weekend is always going to consist, it's very often you get a weekend of all positives, so for sure we had some negatives this weekend. I'm struggling post-virus, whatever you want to call it, we'll go and we'll do our own work on that through the week, go see the right people. But there's a lot of positives. We were nowhere in terms of race pace all weekend, and the boys made a change that more to help me physically, but a similar thing to what we did the last race at Oulton Park, and the bike was so good. We were running 11 for 12 or whatever it was, but we were strong, we were matching the leaders' lap times for a large part of the race. It was one of them, if you were on the front row or second row, you could easily be running 5th or 4th. I don't know if the podium was possible, but a huge step from the rest of the weekend.
Bennetts British Superbike, the third race of the weekend here at Knockhill, and almost...
Rio had a big crash at Oulton Park, badly bruised metacarpal in his left hand, struggling with sort of feeling and grip in the week, if you like. Turned it around for here, but still not 100%. So, you know, 2 riders fighting injury or coming back from injury, on the back foot, lack of circuit knowledge, testing, everything. So what can I say? I think Glenn turned it around and the team turned it around for race 2 and race 3 here today. And certainly Glenn was on good pace, albeit back in 12th place, but putting in really good and consistent lap times.
You know, everyone's talking about the crash now, and you know, no fault of Gino's. He thought he had a technical problem with an oil possibly coming out, so in that situation the right thing is get off the racing line as quick as you can, and I happened to be to the outside of him in the middle of making a pass on him, so I wish he had his technical problem a corner later, but this is just the way it goes.
I'm really pleased Tom brought it home, both cases, and took some good valuable points, and now we need to build on it for brands.
My season started this weekend really. After not feeling too great at Oulton, it was always in the back of my mind, just wanted to get that first race distance under my belt out of the way, and yeah, 4th place, I was really pleased with that, to be fair. Race 2 I expected a little bit more, to be fair. I was a bit too steady off the start. I just need to have a little bit more aggression on them first few laps. I guess I played it a bit too comfortable really. Towards the end part of the race, my lap times were as fast as, if not faster, in the last few laps as the guys fighting for the win. So good to get 2 good point scoring finishes on the table. It's a long championship this year, it's going to be a slow burner, and I know where I need to be. I just need to get that first part of the race dialed in, and I know I'll be back fighting for podiums again.